Hi guys, I promised to do a video for you about how to hook up your telescopes. First, let's talk about telescopes. There's two kinds of telescopes. There's a mirrored telescope and there's a reflective telescope. A mirrored telescope is a telescope that's basically used at nighttime. The reason why is it has a mirror that's around like this. It can come in 2-inch, 4-inch, or 6-inch. But it, because of the sun's light hitting it, the only thing that you would see in a mirrored telescope is the bright white light. A reflective telescope is a little bit different. A reflective telescope has two mirrors in it. One goes this way, the other one goes this way. I know that looks really strange, but the image hits this one right here, and the light bounces down on this one. And this one reflects back up into the eyepiece. So that's what you're seeing. And that's called a reflective telescope. Sounds strange, but a reflective telescope you can use to look at the stars and the planets and the moons at nighttime, but you can also use in the daytime. So it's if you're going to study the Nibiru system, you're going to need the reflective telescope. So let's talk about where you can get a reflective telescope. Well, if you've got a lot of money, you can spend thousands of dollars for a reflective telescope, or you can do the cheap way, which gets you just as good as pictures. Um, this one that I have right here, believe it or not, strange but true, is a little cheap Walmart telescope. I got this for 60 bucks. This one takes just as good as pictures as my friend's telescope, who spent a couple of grand on his. Um, he's not really happy about that right now. But anyway, you don't have to spend a lot of money. The reason why I got this is I wanted a new telescope because I'm a little spoiled that way. But the other telescope that I had before this one was 15 years old. It was really kind of ratty. Didn't like it. I'm a little spoiled. I wanted a new one. It was on sale at Walmart, so I got it about 60 bucks. But you don't have to spend 60 bucks on a telescope. You can go to a pawn shop, get one for $10, $15. You can go on eBay. Now the trick with eBay, let me tell you about the trick with eBay. If you shop eBay on the weekends, you're always going to pay more than you ever would if you shop eBay Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5. The reason why is most people are at work during that time. So if you can, if you can sneak using your computer or your notebook or even your cell phone and kind of under your desk, go on eBay, you can get a really good reflective telescope real cheap. Just don't have it sent to your office or people will ask questions. Excuse me. But if you shop eBay on the weekends, you're going to pay more than you ever really would if you do it during the weekdays. So a little trick with eBay. Now that we've talked about the difference between a mirrored telescope and a reflective telescope, and remember you need the reflective telescope, let's talk about the different cameras you can use and other devices. Okay, first, for you rich people or people who have gotten really cool birthday or Christmas presents, and somebody who loved you a lot bought you a really expensive, huge camera with really good lenses, or you happen to be a professional photographer. Can you use a professional camera on a telescope? Yeah, you can. Um, Basically, again, you have to go to eBay. You get all this stuff comes from China. Always keep your stuff in their containers because you want to keep it dust free. But this is a little thing that you get off eBay. I think it was $9. Now this one is specifically made for a Nikon because my big camera is a Nikon. All you do is you twist it on, twist it on. I just realized y'all can hear it twisting, but you can't see it. I'm not good at doing these videos face to face. You twist it on. This little eyepiece is what goes into the telescope. This is what goes on your camera. You take your lenses, your very, very expensive lenses off your camera very gently. Make sure you don't get any dust inside your camera, especially if it's an expensive camera. It costs a fortune to get it clean. Take your lenses off. Put this on as a lens. Believe it or not, put this one on as a lens. Then slide it into your telescope. Take your eyepiece out and you slide this into your telescope. Pretend you have your camera mounted here. You got your nice expensive camera. This now becomes your lens. Your reflective telescope now becomes your lens. You're good to go. Okay, well, what if you don't have an expensive camera? What if you're not a professional photographer, or you never got a really expensive camera for your birthday or Christmas? Then what can you do? Wait a minute, I'm screwing this because I got to put it back. Remember, always put your stuff back because you don't want any dust in it. Well, let's say you go on eBay or you go to a pawn shop. You can get a really, really cheap camera. Actually, my favorite camera to use in my telescopes is not that big, giant, expensive Nikon. It's another Nikon I got off eBay for $8. This is a Nikon Coolpix. The reason why I love it, it's nice, it's light, it has the screen display on the back, so when I've got it hooked up to the telescope, I can see exactly what I'm looking at before I take the picture. When you turn it on, the lens comes out like this, perfect to stick into the eyepiece of the camera. Now on this, I do have a polarized lens. Let me tell you about a polarized lens. When you're taking pictures of the Nibiru system, you're going to need a polarized lens. It's better to have it on the camera itself, which is another reason why I like this little tiny camera. This little polarized lens, again, I got it off eBay. I think it was $2. A polarized lens will take away the lens flare. If you don't have a polarized lens on your camera, you're going to get some lens flare. I'm telling you that now. But, you know, very, very cheap. I love it. It's very lightweight. Again, I can see what I'm looking at in the telescopes. Now, how do you hook this on? There's two ways. There's a little cheap thing that you can get off eBay that I would show you, but my dogs have used as a chew toy. But it's a little piece of plastic. Believe it or not, the lens goes in here. You hook it up to the telescope. I think I paid $7 for it. But you can do something else. You don't even need to spend that $7. What you need, believe it or not, straight but true, you're gonna think I'm lying, I'm not. Duct tape. Duct tape is your friend. But all you do is, once you have this on, you put the lens into, oh, you can't see. Put the lens, let me turn it this way. Put the lens into the eyepiece, duct tape it in so that no light gets in. You don't want any light. So as long as it's duct taped in and no light is getting through and it holds its position, you can take some perfect shots. But, well, what if you don't want to use this? Can you use some other camera? I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. There is another camera that you can use that you probably own yourself. But as a professional photographer, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I'm going to anyway. I have used my cell phone, hooked it up with duct tape to my telescope, and taken some fantastic pictures of the moon and sold them. Actually, one just sold for $300. It was taken with a cell phone. Now, is this an expensive cell phone? No. This is a cheap-ass mobile, Virgin mobile phone. And the lie I told to get this cell phone is I need a cell phone in case of emergency because I work so far away, and if the car ever breaks down, I'm gonna need to call AAA and have someone come and get me. So I really need this cell phone. Actually, what I use my cell phone for most of all is I watch YouTube videos at lunch. I also watch Netflix at lunch. Depending on if my bosses are taking a long lunch or not. If they're taking an hour or more, I'm usually watching a Netflix show. If they're only taking 30 minutes for lunch, I'm on YouTube watching YouTube videos. But how do you hook up a cell phone to a telescope? Now that's a little bit different. Depending on your cell phone, if you have a really good expensive cell phone, an iPhone, that has a really good zoom lens, you probably wouldn't have to do this. You probably just duct tape it to your telescope. You're good to go. This is a cheap-ass Virgin mobile phone. I pay $34 a month for unlimited data, which I think is great. It helps me watch YouTube videos and Netflix. Um, but how I use this cell phone is you take the lenses that you get with your telescope, that come with your telescope. So if you're going to buy them at a pawn shop or off eBay, make sure they come with lenses that are in a case. The reason why you don't want any dust or dirt or anything or scratches to get on your lenses. So always make sure that they come in a case, and always make sure that they're clean before you hook it up. But I know this lens is clean. This is a lens that goes in the telescope. What you do is you take your lens, you take your cell phone, you match your camera up, and you make sure that the camera part is coming through the eyepiece of the lens. See that in the camera? And you duct tape it. You duct tape it. And then you just stick that into your telescope. Um, you get some fantastic shots. Like I said, I've taken some of the moon. One just sold for $300. Yeah, it's really great. So you can use your cell phone. You don't have to have a fancy, expensive camera. You don't have to have a cheap camera like this little Nikon Coolpix, although I really love this. I really do love this more than the cell phone. Um, But, you don't have to spend a fortune to do this. You can do this yourself on the cheap, get some fantastic pictures. But what if you don't want to use a camera? Well, how about, believe it or not, strange but true, let me open the package. You can buy a webcam for your telescopes. Now, this is not a normal webcam. It looks like this, a very strange looking thing. It has an attachment like this that goes into each other like that, and then this slides into the eyepiece of your telescope right in here. Now let's talk about the webcams. Um, the webcams basically give you the same kind of picture as you would see on all Skycam, um, but this you can't plug into your cell phone. You can't plug into a notebook. Excuse me, into a tablet. It has to be plugged into a very high-powered notebook or a PC. Um, I'm a crazy lady. I actually drag out an old PC that I have, and I hook it up outside with a PC, um, and with a monitor so I can see what I'm looking at. Do I like this? I have to be honest. Um, Two reasons why I like this all Skycam. First of all, since we're on this subject right here, it's easier to look at them and capture images off the allskycam.com because you don't have to drag out a PC, a monitor, your telescope, the webcam. You don't have to spend time setting all of it up. You can just go in your computer and just capture the images. It's easier on allskycam.com. Second reason is, and we should talk about this. We should talk about this. Um, as I've said many times before to the people who follow this channel and subscribe to this channel, if you're new here, this is the first time you've heard this speech. So please listen to this. And I don't mean to be offensive to you or to anybody. But the reason why I use images captured off the all sky cam, the NASA's ISS, and the NASA's SOHO C2 and C3 is because another person in another country, let's say Brazil or Hong Kong, at the same time is downloading that same exact image on the same day, the same time. They've got a same exact copy of that image. For some reason, we come together in a room. We lay our images down, each one of us. Each one of our images would be the exact same image. In other words, there's no room for deceit. Um, it is what it is. That kind of evidence would stand up in a court of law because it can be proved, it could be verified by other sources. But when you're taking your own pictures, whether you're capturing your images off a really nice expensive camera, a cheap little camera, your own personal webcam that you've set up, always keep your stuff, um, put it back in your boxes, or off your cell phones using your telescopes. You will be accused of forging it, photoshopping it, um, especially if you're sharing your images on the internet. The reason why, unfortunately, we're living in a world where other YouTubers, and a lot of you already know this right now, a lot of YouTubers are making videos and showing photos that they know are not true. They know they aren't correct. They know they're photoshopped. They know they're manipulated. They're doing it for their own personal reasons, either to make money, asking you for money. They're trying to sell you survival equipment because they're saying the world is going to end. So you need to buy freeze-dried foods and survival equipment from them. There's a lot of people out there who are just assholes. They're assholes. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to call them. People who lie, cheat, manipulate. I have no sympathy for them. They're assholes. And because there's so many of them, you too would be accused of doing the same thing, especially by people who don't know you, who don't know your integrity. That's why I have consistently never shown any of the photos that I've ever taken. But I've been honest, and I tell you, I'm a professional photographer. I have lots of pictures that I've taken of the Nibiru system, but the ones that I show on my channel all come from either All Sky Cam, NASA's ISS, or SOHO, NASA's SOHO. I only use images that can be verified, that would stand up in a court of law. Um, I can't make that any more clearer to y'all that if you do start showing your own photos, especially to outside sources, they are going to accuse you of photoshopping because unfortunately in this climate of YouTube right now, there's so many people who just lie and deceive, so expect it. I keep my photos that I've taken, my personal photos, and I keep them to myself. I'm using it to measure the asteroid field around the Nibiru System, the planets and the moons itself. Um, I'm trying to get a nighttime shot of this mysterious object that I can't explain. I'll make another video about that soon because it's getting even more strange. Even I can't figure out what it is. But I'm using my photographic equipment and my telescope trying to figure it out. Is there another thing that you can use to get images of the Nibiru system? Yeah. I personally don't like this because my hands shake. But you can use, believe it or not, this is binoculars. Most people use them to watch birds, to watch wildlife, but it's binoculars with a camera. See that in the middle? That is the camera in the middle. Um, Hold them up to your eyes, then click the picture. You can get some, I can't, but other people can get some really decent shots. If you're going to use binoculars with a camera in it, what I would suggest you do is make sure that on the bottom of your binoculars, it has a place where you could hook it into a tripod. These do not. That's why I don't like them. My hands shake, especially if I've been standing outside for a really long time. Because I live in Splendora, Texas, and it's the middle of summer. Right now, the heat index factor outside at 10 o'clock at night is 110. Yeah, it sucks. Um, but I really don't like these. I have a friend who loves it, and I'm actually thinking about giving it to her. But you can get pictures off binoculars. So you don't have to use photographic equipment or a webcam. You can use binoculars with a camera on it. Um, but that's about it. You don't have to spend a fortune to research the Nibiru system. You can do it on the cheap, and like I said, duct tape is your friend. If you're using a really expensive camera, do not use the duct tape. You don't want duct tape on your Nikons or your Canons or your Olympuses. They cost way too much money. But on something like this, a cheap little Nikon Coolpix, not a problem. Um, your cell phone, not a problem. At least not with mine. Um, the webcams, again, what I can say is it's easier using all Skycam for me anyway. And I have to lug out a PC, and in the summertime I don't want to. I work enough. I'm tired. And it's just easier getting it off the all Skycam. You get just as good as a picture, but some people, they want to set up their own webcam with a telescope. They For their own interest, for their own research and their own study. And if that's what you want to do, I think I got this webcam $30. I think I really don't know. It was a while ago, but again, all the cheap stuff comes from China, and yeah, that's where you're going to get it from. Unfortunately, you can't go into a camera shop in the United States, or at least here in the region where I live in Texas. The only camera shop, really good camera shop, is in Houston, and for a webcam, you're going to pay $200. I think I paid 30 for this. And again, always keep it in the box. Oh, and another good tip. Oh yeah, I should tell you this in case you don't know. A photographer's tip. Okay, how do I explain this? Right now, my house is 70 degrees, and I get cool because it's hot outside. But outside, it's 105. That's a heat index factor. Plus, it's very humid. So if I took any or all of this equipment outside right now, the first thing that would happen is the lenses would fog up. So what you want to do is you want to wait. The rule is 15 to 20 minutes. And you want to keep, what I keep is, let me see if I've got it here in my desk drawer. I keep a cloth that you can buy that's basically for eyeglasses, to wipe off the eyeglasses. It's a lint-free cloth, and I wait 15-20 minutes, and I wipe my lenses before I hook them up to the telescope, because you want to make sure that there's no fog on that lens. But the rule is 15-20 minutes. Let the equipment adjust to the temperature that you're in. If not, your pictures are going to get very, very foggy, and you're not going to like that, and you're going to get very upset. So little photographer's tip: let it adjust to the atmosphere that you're going to take the pictures in. Um, Other than that, I think I basically told you all that you need to know. You can, if you want to, you can go out and you can spend a couple of thousands of dollars on some really, really nice equipment, but it's just really not necessary. Like I said, this telescope, Walmart special, but you could go to a pawn shop or eBay. Make sure it's a Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5. That's where you get your cheapest prices. If you're going to shop on the weekends, you're going to pay a lot more, but you can get a really good telescope that'll do basically the job. Because if you think of a telescope, this is just a lens. Think of it as a lens, but it has to be a reflective telescope. If you're going to shoot the Nibiru system in the daytime, it has to be a reflective telescope. If you get the mirrored telescope, you're going to be really upset because you're not going to be able to see anything. You're just going to see bright light. Mirrored telescopes are only good for the nighttime. But you know, it is what it is. But anyway, you can do it on the cheap and you can do it. The whole entire reason I'm doing these videos is to teach you or help you do the research yourself. So keep looking at the stars, keep watching the Nibiru system, and have a great day and love each other. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.